So I'm being continuously gang stalked by thousands of people in Los Angeles, brightening their headlights at me, and I gotta say it warrants itself for the fact that I'm a prophet and I have unbelievable confirmations about what everything is about the crisis going down right now. You know, if you look at the Bible concordance and you put in 2020, which is when the crisis basically started, it'll show you that 2020 means to begin to grow light. Now, I know a lot of people proclaim to be Christians and stuff, but they really don't pay attention to what's actually going on in the Bible. They kind of just take what's good about the Bible and what makes them feel stronger, but you know, there's mysteries in the Bible, there's playbooks and plans and agendas which are exposed in the Bible. And see, what I'm noticing about the veracity of me being true and actually being a prophet. See, at first I thought, oh, they're just blocking my sound off my videos. Like if you see my videos, they have their sound is blocked off, and I was just thinking they're blocking my sound because they don't want me to show people. And I really didn't think like how deep it is for me to be correct about being a prophet. And the thing is, like, if I am correct, which I am, about my biblical prophecies, which are true and supernatural and non emulated, that would mean that I am literally crushing every other religion on earth. Because by me being correct, which I am, and, my, and by me being the person that I am, and being able to prove it, it just goes to show that every other religion is wrong. You know, I'm literally putting to shame Buddhism, Muslims, you know, Hinduism, New Age, all that stuff. I'm putting it to shame. And that will knock so many people off their high horses. And this also makes me realize the fact and and the reason why Jesus said if they hated me then they'll hate you, because he's the truth. You have to understand, they don't just hate him because he's the truth. They hate him because they have different beliefs as well. They believe different. But if he is true and he's the person he said he is, that means there should actually be a new world order, and that should be under God. The whole world, not just our region, not just America. We need a new world order under that Bible. So that's basically what's the veracity of me being correct is I am shutting down every other opposing theoretical religion that is out there. And every pastor who is fake, who is teaching prosperity, which the Bible does not teach. It does teach that of course God will give you, you know, favor and things, but it doesn't show you that you're gonna become balling and all this stuff. What profit is it for a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? So why would someone want to be rich and famous and all this stuff if they know that it only hinders their salvation. See what I notice about the whole, pandemic or whatever? The one thing in common that they have with everybody, as far as the unvaccinated and all that stuff, the one thing they have in common is the fear of death. Everybody's scared to die. Nobody's just like, nobody has an attitude where it's just like, you know what, let me die. If you actually knew, especially if you're a Christian, if you knew that when you died, if you're living right, that you're gonna go to heaven, what is the holdup? Do you really want to stay here on earth and watch your grandchildren and all that stuff rather than going to heaven? Those Bible verses that say even Jesus came. How they talk about red pills? I believe Jesus had the most red pills there were when he was here. He had the most red pills ever. Because he said, who is my mother? Who is my father except those who believe in Christ? He also said, think not that I came to bring peace, but a sword. He said, I came to set invariance or set a brother against his brother, a mother in law against a daughter in law, father against son. He said, pick up your cross and follow me. He said, if they hated me, then they'll hate you. He said, and this is what they don't talk about. He said, if any man doesn't hate his wife, his daughter, or vice versa, a woman hate her husband. Well, it doesn't say that a woman hate her husband, but it does say if a man doesn't hate his wife and his basically daughter, his family, he's not worthy to be my disciple. So everything they would like to teach you, which it does sound nice, the things that they say, it does sound nice. Like, oh, that makes sense. You got to do this and do that, and you got to be nice, and I mean, they make it sound good from a perspective of natural morality of men, but he he said, I called you out of the world. You're not of the world. So the natural like politeness and manners and mannerisms of the world doesn't really um what's it called? It doesn't really God doesn't really care about that. It doesn't concern him. That's the word I was looking for. It doesn't concern God. There's a Bible verse that says, "Although I be rude in speech, I am not, ignorant in knowledge." And a lot of people will say to you if you came to them like, "Man, you guys are like," they listen to Pastor Tony Smith, and they say, "Man, this guy's always calling people dumb and all this stuff." It's like it don't matter as long as he's talking about what he's supposed to talk about. You gotta stop being so sensitive. But yet they'll take the government mandates and they'll take everything that the government is doing to them physically and literally that is rude, and they won't backlash against them. That's rude to mandate something on people. That's rude. AIDS has been going around for so long. STDs has been going around for so long, and nobody ever mandated anyone take an STD shot. Yet they know that there's clubs and people having sex at a high rate, but they don't make anybody take random herpes shot. That should be a mandate. Everybody get a herpes shot, even if you don't have herpes. Just get a herpes shot. Why not? I would probably do that. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I am out here dating. If you're gonna date, take a herpes shot. But you guys are gonna take a jab for something as little as a flu. En masse, nothing has changed within my society. You know, the homeless people are still thriving. I mean, this is a battle of ignorance and intelligence and free thinking. And it definitely is a war on free thinkers right now. Because like I told you again, if you look in the Bible and you look in your concordance, because every number in the Bible has every word in the Bible has a number associated with it. And if you look at 2020 in the Bible, it means to begin to grow light. And everyone's talking about people waking up. Oh, everybody's waking up. There's a waking up. Waking up to what? What are you guys waking up to? Waking up to the truths of life. I understand that everybody has a different little forte in what they might think about, you know what I mean? One may be looking at historical truths, one may be looking at mathematical truths, one may be looking at biblical truths. I understand that. I understand we have our own little sections and, you know, areas of expertise, but it all stems from one place. And if we can't come back to that one place together, then we're not waking up. We're just being narcissistic. We're being sure of ourselves. We're being cocky, lovers of ourselves, you know. So I would like to beg the fact that all these truths come back to the Bible. So I would like to ask everyone who wants to look into anything, especially the people with doing the gematria. I respect the gematria and I respect the numerology. I understand that you guys are finding correlations within the numbers. But what I would like to say is you must go trace it back to the Bible because everything is biblical. The playbook of life is biblical. So if you're finding numbers like 23 a lot, 47, all these numbers, go back to the Bible and see what it means. Because every word in the Bible is associated with a number. Okay? Now there's people majorly gang stalking me everywhere. I'm literally like the talk of the century right now. Like that's what you would think. Like I'm telling you, like out of 100 cars that are on the street, 90 of them are following me. I don't know if you can imagine that because I am in a heavy Democratic state. I'm in California and especially Los Angeles, and I can show you everywhere that is pointed. See the bright lights? Look up in Google and look up what brighting is. If you think that that light right there is normal before they turned and that wasn't bright, you're just not you're not awoke. Okay? Every person who's coming on the street is brightening their lights. So I'll just give you guys a quick